Hey guys, KallTorak here. Today, I want to talk about my Demon Flame Spark build. It's really fun, and I'm having quite a bit of success with it. I have solid Waystone clear times, and I can one-shot most bosses. While it can be a little rippy, it's the most enjoyable build I've played so far on Infernalist. Before diving into the build, I want to say thank you to everyone who has been commenting on my last few videos. I was fairly nervous about uploading my first Path of Exile videos. This game just has so much information in it, and it can be overwhelming. The response to my videos has been incredibly kind and helpful, without being rude or condescending. My builds have improved greatly, as well as my knowledge of the game. So I appreciate you guys for welcoming me to the Path of Exile community. If you enjoy what you're seeing, please consider liking and subscribing. A majority of you who are returning viewers have yet to subscribe, so hit that button. If you didn't watch my last video, to quickly recap, I am playing with uncapped Demon Flame. Every second I spend in Demon form, I get a stack of Demon Flame. Each stack increases my spell power, but it also makes me take 0.5% of my life per second. By reducing my maximum life with 2 Ming's Hearts and Ghost Wraith, and stacking as much life regeneration as possible, I am able to sustain currently 400 stacks of Demon Flame. That is an insane boost to my damage. In my previous video, I was using Essence Drain and Contagion. The problem I was having was the mobs were dying just way too fast, before they could continue to spread. After experimenting with every int skill, to no surprise, Spark ended up being by far the safest and most efficient skill to use with Demon Flame. Since all of our damage is coming from stacks of Demon Flame, we do not have to put any damage amp support gems into Spark. My current setup is aimed around getting as many sparks out as possible for as long as possible, clearing multiple screens away with ease once I have over 100 stacks. Now, there are quite a few major problems with this build, and this is where I want to talk about Infernalist versus Sorcerer. One of the major problems with this build is when you first enter a Waystone, you have no stacks, making the start of the run feel awful. Flame Wall mixed with Spark fixed a lot of my problems with the first minute in maps. Now that hasn't completely solved the problem with Demon Flame stacks. While I can clear most maps before I have to reset Demon Form, in maps with multiple breaches or Citadels, I do find myself resetting Demon Form to build new stacks, just to be safe. This can add several minutes of standing around waiting. If you are someone who just wants to go, this wait time will be what kills this build for you. From what I've seen from other Spark builds, Sorcerer is able to scale their Spark damage better, cheaper, and maximize their defenses more. While this isn't a horribly expensive build to get going, and I do have some Magic Find now, everything I've seen from Sorcerer tells me it is the better option for Spark playstyle. So, why am I playing as an Infernalist? Well, I don't have a Sorcerer, and I don't really want to level one right now. My next character is going to be a Witch Hunter to test my next Thorns build. So yeah. This is a very fun build. It's not bad at all, and it's just naturally where I've ended up. If you have an Infernalist and want to check out Spark, or you just like the whole demon vibe, give this build a go. However, if you're starting from level 1 right now, I would probably recommend Sorcerer instead for a Spark-focused build. Alright, so let's just quickly talk about everything that I have changed in-game. So, you can see my energy shield is way lower. I've traded a lot of energy shield on gear for resistances and Magic Find. There are other ways you could optimize this. I'm at 461 life regen. That is unnecessary. I am going as high as I possibly can for memes. I want to see if I can get to like 1,000 life regen and like one-shot some bosses with like max stacks Arctic armor. You do not need to do that. I would recommend 200 to 300 life regen and then everything else into resistances and energy shield. And I can show you how you would want to optimize that. But yeah, this is not necessary. You can see here that with like my current setup, I can take off my helmet and my boots, and I'm still at 281 life regen. So with my passive tree setup and just a high life regen roll on my neck and my belt, I'm able to maintain 300 life regen, which is plenty for stack. So if you want to go as high as you possibly can, you can, but it's not needed. I would go 200, 300, and then just focus on resistances and energy shield. I could be at like 10,000 energy shield and max resistances right now if I was not doing life regen cheese. So yeah, I got rarity on gear now. It's the most important stat. Priority over anything. If you haven't been following the rarity discussion, I saw a Reddit thread yesterday that someone did like 80 waystones or something at different rarity values. And the math showed, which is what people have been confirming, but there are diminishing returns on rarity. The biggest spike you want is at 100 rarity. So if you can get over 100 rarity, that's perfect, and you can with helmet, neck, and boots. I'm at 125, and since I've been running this, I've gotten so many more divines. I get so many exalts. Like, it's actually insane. So you can get over 100 rarity, and I would recommend it on these 3 pieces. I don't even use spell skill rake on my neck anymore. Like, spell skills is huge, and everything else is more important to me at this point. So yeah, that's where we're at with the gearing right now. I would, again, if you can, cap your resistances and get your energy shield a little bit higher. But this is going well for me. If you look at my skill gems real quick, so Summon Infernal Howl will go in the passive tree, but this is later, but this is really good. Bosses will attack him and just like use their spells like that would one-shot you on him and just let you stand there in DPS. So everything else about it kind of sucks. He dies a lot, but in bosses, like boss fighting specifically, especially for like Citadel bosses and like the harder breach boss and stuff, get this guy. He's just a distraction, and there's nothing else you want to use your 4th Ascendancy on. Spark is our main mapping option. As you can see here, its damage is scaling so high with the Demon Flame stacks. I have Persistence, Inspiration, Arcane Tempo, Acceleration, and Pierce. These 5 combined just get as many sparks out on the map as possible for as long as possible and going as far as possible. I'm clearing multiple maps away with this setup. I've tried other gems, I've tried other DPS options, and like just getting them as far as possible has been the safest and most efficient way of playing. Flame Wall, I've got Fire Mastery, Intense Agony, and Magnified Effect. I really didn't know what to do here. I only really use Flame Wall at the beginning of Waystones if I'm playing before 60 stacks. You can just AFK at the start of a Waystone until 60 and then go, and you don't need to Flame Wall, but early stacks, Flame Wall with Spark. With the combined stacks, it just does so much damage. And then even on bossing, it kills them pretty fast when you use them together, when you have a lot of stacks. So definitely get these 2. Arctic Armor and Grim Feast. I've tried a lot of different spirit gems. Grim Feast, everyone's playing Grim Feast. Like, it's just, I think it is the single most broken thing in this game over anything else. I don't care what it is. Like, maybe there's some, like, crazy Hoda, like, monk stuff that might be better, but, like, as a whole, for the whole player base, like, this thing is crazy. You can get up to 20,000 energy shield in some maps with this thing. It's insane. Grim Feast is the best spirit gem you can run, hands down. Of the other spirit gems I've tried, Arctic Armor is still the best. It's not meme that I'm still running it. Anytime you're stunned, frozen, slowed, or just caught off guard, this will save your life because it one-shots anyone that hits you with a melee attack. Rares, blues, anything. And when you're frozen for 3 to 4 seconds, if you have like 6 mobs wailing on you multiple times, you're going to die. But because they're all killing themselves and not getting multiple hits, it ends up saving my life so much. Arctic Armor is not memes. Okay, lastly, I want to talk about Bone Storm. I use Bone Storm for bossing. I have tried every single int skill, and Bone Storm by far does the most damage with Demon Flame. I've tried Comet, I've tried Cold Snap breaking stuff with freezes and stuff, and if you look at the damage here, I know these damage numbers are not accurate, but let's just look at these at the face value for now. We got 500,000 almost versus 100,000 almost. Now, again, these aren't accurate face value, but what I think is happening, and some smarter Pee-wee brains let me know, I think each stack of Demon Flame is buffing every single individual bone spike from Bone Storm. So it's amping it way more than you would expect. When I use Comet or Cold Snap on bosses, it does like 1/5 to like 1/6 of their HP. Where Bone Storm is straight up one-shotting all bosses. It's just like one-shotting, like, I think the Act 2 Pinnacle boss, not Pinnacle boss, Act 2 Citadel boss, I almost 3-shot him with Bone Storm. So, and I wasn't even at max stacks. I went to the fight at like 200 stacks. So, it's so powerful. and it's hitting harder than any other spell I have. Okay, here I am at 381 stacks, and I'm just now losing my HP. So, yeah, it's pretty easy on maps to get really high stacks. Last thing I want to talk about with the gear is if I would change anything, I don't need gain life on enemy kill anymore. I would do like mana on hit or some form of mana back. Spark's pretty mana intensive, and the kills is nice. That it can be helpful, but it really only sustains me to like 430 stacks. This was way better early on when I was struggling to get to 200 stacks, but now I would change that to mana on hit or something. Mana on kill, one of those ones. I forget what it is. But yeah, for my Bone Storm, I didn't talk about my skill gems here. For Bone Storm skill gems, break armor, mobility, momentum, and physical mastery. I love the momentum and mobility ones. They help a lot on bossing, and then the splinter just to break armor. Herbalism, cannibalism, and clarity for Grim Feast. Controlled destruction, glaciation, cold penetration for Arctic armor. Magnified effect, intense agony, and fire mastery for flame wall. And yeah, those are the current skill gems I'm using. For passive trees, I don't know, I've had like multiple strokes redesigning this thing. This is like the most hard, like this is the hardest part for Path of Exile for me, always has been, is just trying to figure out what I want to do with my tree. I've wasted millions of gold trying to reorganize this, and this is where I'm at. If you see a more optimal route, please let me know. I love feedback, I love advice. But yeah, my main goal is just getting as much life regen as possible, so I'm maximizing jewel nodes and getting as many life regen nodes as I possibly can. So we've got these life regen spots here, here, and here. We went all the way over here to Hail Heart, got all these life recovery and regeneration nodes. We're maximizing jewels. I've got the Adorned Diamond. I had it on my Thorns Warbringer, and I just moved it over to this guy. And I've got a bunch of blue rubies that are all regeneration. And yeah, this has just boosted my life regen so much. If you want to sit comfortably at about 200%, or 200 to 300 life regen, then you don't want to get this many jewel nodes. Just take out the jewel nodes and put more into energy shield, and that will probably be better for you. The last thing I want to talk about is the cost of this build. I see comments all the time like, this is insane, this is like a 30 div build. No, you need to learn how to search on the trade site. There are a lot of videos teaching people how to do it. I had to watch a couple before I was able to figure this stuff out, but if you search by like the Exalt cap, like each of these blue jewels I got for 10 Exalts. I got 10 of them, so like 100 Exalts, which is less than 1 div for all of my blue jewels. I had this already, but Adorned Diamonds for 35% or lower are 1 divine. So for all the jewels, you're talking like maybe 2 div, which that is expensive, but it's not 30 div expensive. And then for my gear, all of these pieces were less than a div each. I bought the Ming's Hearts and the Ghost Wraith 2 weeks ago, and they were like Exalts each. I think like 10 Exalt, 10 Exalt, and then 1 Exalt for these 3, like 21 Exalt for these 3. I don't know what they're at now, but the helmet was 20 Exalt, the neck was 25 Exalts, the boots, because they have 30% move speed, they were like 30 Exalts, the belt was 20 Exalts. I bought these a week ago for a div. I don't know what they'd be at now. I probably got scammed on them a week ago, though. That was before I learned about how to search for Exalt. So this gear is not absurdly expensive. I think you could get this entire set for probably less than 10 divines right now. So it's not that expensive. It is expensive for some people, depending on where your Magic Find is at, but I think I could have, like, what I farmed today with my 100 Magic Find, I could afford this full set. So yeah, that's where the build's at. Let me know any thoughts or feedback. And sorry, I forgot to talk about Ascendancies. So Altered Flesh is insane. Its damage mitigation is awesome. If you can get your Fire Res maxed and your Chaos Res as much as you can, which you do with the Ming's Hearts and stuff, this is just, it's so good. Altered Flesh is huge, even though you're increasing your max life. So definitely recommend this. Obviously, we get Demon Flame, get the 12% spell damage, we get the 4% max mana here. Don't need the crit chance. We don't want to become ignited with this build. We don't want to use Pyromantic Pact. So we are using Loyal Hellhound. Like I said, it being targeted by the bosses is just a nice perk. Otherwise, it's whatever. But hey, this is our Ascendancies. So yeah, that's where we're at with the build. I'm having a blast with it. I'm farming currency like crazy. I don't know what I will do more with the build anytime soon. Right now, it's just for farming, because I'm going to be doing my Witch Hunter Thorns build soon, so I'm just farming currency for that new character soon. I really want to see if I can do something cool with Thorns, and I want to try Witch Hunter next. So that's probably what my next build will be on. I sincerely appreciate any feedback that you guys give me and all of the lessons and teachings that you guys give me for Path of Exile. You guys are an insanely awesome community. I feel so just welcomed, and I'm getting feedback from people in a non-condescending way. It's just very supportive and encouraging. I was genuinely like nervous about uploading my first PoE video. This game is like really overwhelming. There's just so much knowledge and like just so many things you can get wrong. And since that first video, it's just been nothing but kindness. This community is awesome, and I plan on uploading plenty more PoE videos, so and maybe a podcast soon. So if you're interested in that stuff, please like and subscribe. There will be plenty of Path of Exile content coming from me in the next year. So Happy New Year to all of you fantastic viewers. Thanks for liking, subscribing. Sincere apology to Darth Microtransaction. Once again, we have run out of time, but that's just how it goes. Happy New Year, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one.